What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the bottom of the map in the pig color because I selected the pigs instead of the towns, and in the blue color, playing as Loki. His name is Magyar. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is Armycore. He is the core of the army, and this is the map Watering Hole. And this game was played back in 2012, I believe it was 2012. Both these guys were arguably at their peak, though maybe you could argue Magyar was on a steady decline in that maybe he wasn't quite at his peak. He wasn't playing that much. One of those things that ends up happening when you are the best player is that you lose drive to get better because nobody is pushing you to get better, and therefore the skill either stays stagnant or decays. And what I think is quite amazing about Age of Mythology in the year 2022 is that there really isn't a best player anymore. You have a handful of players, Chemo, Matrius, Squash, Magic, the list goes on, more. Rappel is an up-and-comer, but all of these guys are pushing each other to get to that next level. And the skill ceiling in Age of Mythology is so vastly high, even with auto-queue in the game. There's just so much intricate decision-making, micro, building placement, strategy that just hasn't really surfaced that you could discover and do and just get better at. That I just think that it's such an exciting game to be a part of in the current era, as opposed to maybe when Magyar was the best. He was by far the best, and that was what was exciting about it. But still, I do think that Magyar probably got maybe a little bit bored with just beating everyone. There was a couple of people who challenged Magyar quite a bit in that we had like King and Magyar played a little bit, and that was really close. But unfortunately, both of those guys' primes didn't really match up. And of the other players that Magyar played, like Armycore, Cyclone, Magyar tended to win a lot of those games. But we'll see this game. It's a new game. It's a new life. We're seeing Loki here. Loki, even back in 1.03, I would probably say that Loki was still one of the lower tier gods. But nobody really knew how to punish Loki. So if you played Loki on 1.03 in today's age, you would see Loki struggling quite a bit in the 1v1s. But back in 2012 or even before, like Loki, the meta and everything hadn't really been worked out to perfection. And Loki was getting wins where normally Loki wouldn't, because Loki functions crazy good if he's left to his own devices. And this is what makes Loki so bloody amazing in team games, for example, is that if the Loki player just gets to run around and do Loki things and doesn't get punished, then he's going to hit a mad power spike and it's going to be tough for you to defend it. And we'll see if that's what Magyar's going to go for in this game, or if Armycore is going to be able to deflect it. Now, a lot of players do consider Loki to be a soft counter to Oranos, in that Oranos Terma are useless. They don't do much damage to Hersa at all. Hersa dodged the arrows that the Terma throw out, so going Terma doesn't really work. So you have to go Murmillo. The Murmillo don't really counter the Hersa either, especially if it's like medium Murmillo versus heroic age Hersa. The Hersa win really hard. Even if it's just unupgraded Murmillo versus classical age Hersa, the Hersa still win, especially because you get the extra myth unit spawns. So it's a soft counter in that, even though that's all the case, you still have access to things like Stymphalian birds, Lampedes, the Tartarian Gate, and also Fanatics as well. If you get to Fanatics, you essentially win the game. So we'll see how this is going to go. Armycore's going through Prometheus. No real surprises there. Magyar going through Forseti. No real surprises there. We are seeing funny walls here from Magyar. We don't see these anymore. This is something we did see a little bit of back in the day. People weren't really aware of how good wall segments were. And yeah, so the problem with doing the walls like this is that that if your opponent wants to take it down, they can take down this wall and it will effectively kill all of this. And then the surface area of the tower gets very much opened up. So we do see the longhouse now coming down for Magyar. And he's going to be continuing here. As we see the house getting taken down, the Promethean offsprings were deleted. This is something Armycore made fairly standard, was deleting his Promethean. And the reason you go, like, why did he delete his Promethean? That's a full unit. You just lost out on a whole bunch of HP. And the answer is simply put, 5.5 speed is more than, was it 4.0 speed? What's the Promethean at? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. It's 1.5 more speed, so you can go and raid much, much faster and get onto your opponent's base. But given in this situation, it probably would have been a little bit better for Armycore to have a Promethean to take down the house, because the big Promethean does a little bit more damage than the two small Prometheans. I think he does 1 crush damage more or something. But anyways, there's the Valor does hit himself a villager, has a bunch of units out. Magyar's going to be making himself a whole bunch of those Herser out, and he's going to be spamming dwarves over onto his gold mine. And this is a classic watering hole spawn. Part of me does miss these spawns just a little bit, in that you have a large gold mine in range of your home sentry towers. Sometimes it can spawn like here, for example, but in this case, spawning here, because it does change like what is generally possible in a game if you have a safe gold mine like this. It changes everything. And we don't see them anymore because it's kind of unbalanced, but also not really unbalanced. It favors Egyptians slightly, but I think maybe it favors them less than you might think, considering that like Norse players with a safe gold mine very, very happy against Egyptian nowadays if you watch how the meta is kind of developing. But Magyar getting pushed back now. He does get a whole bunch of wax over there. Does he have himself the Hall of Thanes just yet? No Hall of Thanes, but I'm sure it's coming through. There it is. And this is a point where Armycore can get a little bit of an advantage, but I love these walls from Magyar. This is so good. Blocking all of this. He's found himself a relic with the Odin's Wand. Unfortunately, getting the Hall of Thanes before putting that in doesn't reduce the cost midway through. You don't get that refund though. Now seeing the Herser now going to be walking through here, going to be looking for some raids. And will he spot this? It's very close. He's just missed the villagers eating the elephant over here, and he's still just missed the villagers eating the elephant over here as the Herser walking into Armycore's base. This Oracle Scout is going to get taken down, but he's going to get pushed back as we see the Herser pushing the Citizen off of that wood line here, and he will actually, unfortunately, lose that Herser for the trade of an Oracle. Meanwhile, we see the units are inside of Magyar's base as he's rebuilding this wall over here, and the villagers have to pull back. This is a nice play from Armycore to push off that location there, but Magyar does have the units here to kind of defend this a little bit, maybe. I'm not sure. He does manage to take down the Oracle over here, leaving this relic. The Kobeshev Horus, definitely don't want to leave that one there. That's a really, really important relic for the Atlantean player to get, Armycore to get that one. And we are seeing the classic Loki mistake. Any more than 10 dwarves is a big no-no for the Loki players, because what ends up happening is that gold income shoots up and you've got nothing to spend it on. If you do ever find yourself in this position here, and say you just look down at your resources, you see you have 15 dwarves, 16 dwarves on gold, and you have like 800 gold in the bank, just grab your pigs, bring them over, grab all your dwarves, and just eat pigs. Take the loss, just be like, yeah, I screwed it up a little bit, but you can always fix it. You can always fix it. And that's my story. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Armycore, he is throwing down some more manas over here. He's still pumping these units out as we are seeing the Herser bringing that relic back. He still hasn't put that in there. Surprising, as the Herser getting kind of pushed back here. Magyar's only at 65 population here. I'm not sure what he's doing. This is really, really bad for Magyar. He does have a wall over here now to protect his villagers on the hunt there, but Magyar's in a very, very tough position here, given how little. Onto the pigs. Onto the pigs. But yeah, Magyar's in a very, very tough position given his current situation right now. Not building houses. I'm not sure if he's doing this on purpose or not, but there's just no houses anywhere. It's a very confusing game here as we see the shockwave coming in and the Murmillo taking down these dwarves nicely. The Terma going after them as they are all falling, even with the safety of this gold mine and the watchtowers up. Armycore doesn't care. He's like, I'll take the losses. I don't care. I'm going to take down so many dwarves here as Magyar is still trying to get his way up into the Mythic age, or sorry, Heroic age. He doesn't have an armory though. He does have an armory. So he can advance now. So he's going to be clicking up. He's going to go through Bragi. And this is sort of how this goes, but I think this is a late Heroic age, and I don't think that I don't think the Loki players against Oranos do the semi-fast Heroic. They go for the like full army Heroic age. Full her, so just full send, full distraction. Going for the semi-fast Heroic kind of works in a team game, but not so much in the 1v1 because they just get too much damage here. We'll see how this is all going to go. Magyar has to figure out a way to use his flaming weapons to get himself a lot of value. Normally, you just go and attack your opponent. Armycore making a slight mistake here, though, in getting himself that second talent center. In the Oranos versus Loki matchup, a big win condition for the Oranos players and getting to the Heroic Age and getting access to like 1 heavy infantry and 2 Stymphalian birds is really, really big as well. But we are seeing the army getting chased around here. Armycore, does he have any upgrades? Does he have that beautiful copper mail? We do not see that one. Does Magyar have copper mail? I don't think he does either. Copper mail is such a big, important upgrade in this matchup as well. But right now, Armycore can't find any real way to move forward. Magyar still forgetting houses, 74 of 75 population, as he's got so many units here sitting in the buildings, not getting made. We are seeing that Armycore simply just going to walk through here. This isn't a fight really that Magyar can take. What Magyar could try here is just simply leave this and go after the main base of Armycore, flaming weapons, take it all down, get all of the myth unit spawns and just keep that pressure with the myth unit spawns is one idea, but he's not doing that. He's still short on houses here a little bit. He's trying to build them somewhere as this old suck over here is getting those houses up. Still getting a lot of picks here, standing under the watchtower, but this is all of the time that Armycore needs to get himself to the Heroic Age. If he gets to the Heroic Age, gets Stymphalian Birds, that counters the Battle Ball, counters everything. You're all good. So the army here now from Armycore getting chased away. It's kind of getting caught out just a little bit. There is this longhouse here that Magyar might use to just prevent the army from retreating, and he's just going to continue doing this. We do see that now Armycore decides he's going to turn around here. There's the flaming weapons coming down by Magyar, but this doesn't do anything. And we are going to be seeing that Armycore is just going to go, look, I know that I can't fight this. I know it's bad. I'm just going to run. I'm going to do some circles. Going to just Amanra you around up here. Just going to do some circles up in this location. Look how much food is up here. That is wild, and I don't think that Magyar knows about it either. He's got no idea there's that much food up there, so that could be huge for him for a little bit later. But there's the Thea coming through for Armycore. We'll see that that gold mine is going to be a little bit precarious there as the Thea Stymphalian Birds will start coming in. We just see some more barracks coming up over here, going to be blocking these units from retreating away. Nice play from Magyar. Yet again, he's getting a lot of value out of this fight, but it doesn't matter because right now, Armycore can just go Mythic Age, right? Basically, he's pretty close. He doesn't need to do anything. I mean, he does have to worry about some sort of return attack. We are seeing the heavy infantry coming through, so Armycore very aware that's something he needs to do. He is going to be attempting to take down this longhouse, but the longhouse getting rebuilt. Not fast enough, though. There is another gap over here that can be path blocked, but the Herso sitting here not doing all too much. There's that longhouse. He might have to throw down a wall here as well, and there's another longhouse coming up over on that location as the ghost building is continuously preventing these units from retreating away here. And there goes the Armycore army trying to get out of here. There does look like there is a slight gap here, but there is not a gap. There's the heavy infantry coming through. The units need to take down this longhouse as best as they can. The battle ball sticking a little bit away from this, not wanting to be falling in. There's a mountain giant spawn as well, as Magyar has just gotten so much value out of this very poor army movement decision from Armycore. And yet again, more ghost buildings coming up, but now the Murmillo will be getting out of here. And Armycore, how's his economic upgrades looking? No irrigation, but he does have shaft mine. He's just researched plow. You might be thinking about getting irrigation very soon after. And Magyar's got a lot of resources in the bank, but the Stymphalian bird now flying overhead, ready to start hitting these gold villages. He should basically just come over onto this gold mine, though. There is no tower here anymore, though, so it's not as safe as you might think, but with the hill fort coming up, that's going to be a nice defensive position for Magyar to be in. He's also got himself the troll waddling over here. He's going to start getting some good damage done to the Stymphalian bird, though the Stymphalian bird does win in the direct conflict here. So Armycore might decide to turn around at some point. There is the healing sprint, going to get himself the town center, and it's looking like Magyar wants to take this game a little bit later, which might not be the best of decisions here, as Armycore is going to get further and further ahead because he's been on 2 town centers for the longest time here. We do see this wall over here getting taken down, and maybe Armycore is going to try and get in onto this gold mine, but he does have to be on 2 separate gold mines over here, as we do see these units now moving over onto the crown crane, and then they will move over and get all of these zebra here, which is going to be great. But the Stymphalian birds now flying in, they want to spot this gold mine being grabbed. They want to know what's happening here, make sure that it's not going to get taken down. And there goes the Stymphalian bird trying to target down the troll, but the hill fort now going after the Stymphalian bird. Look at that troll, gets absolutely massacred by the Stymphalian bird. It's not even close here, but the Stymphalian bird does get pushed back. These guys are going to be chilling over here as more dwarves coming into this position, but it's looking like at this point Magyar can very easily prevent the army from getting away, but it's not quite a path block there from those ghost buildings, as the Murmillo do end up getting out of that location. Meanwhile, we see some battle ball raids coming in, but with 2 Stymphalian birds in here, it's going to be too much. I think these battle ball, they don't have their Thurzan rune. Is that what it's called? I can't remember exactly. Thurzaz rune, which does make him move that little bit faster, but they're already pretty quick at 5.3 speed, and the army going to continue to chase this one away. I would love to see Armycore get some sort of aggression happening here. He's thrown up the market. There's a possibility for tier push or hell push with Fire Giant, with Nidhogg. He's got so many resources in the bank. He can sell that wood, buy food, and go to the Mythic Age. And I have to assume that's what he's doing here. There he goes. He buys the food, he sells the wood, and he's going to go straight up through Hell. Hell's got a choice. He's got a little bit of favor in the bank. Fire Giant's very, very strong. Going to be difficult for Armycore to deal with this one, but I imagine Armycore is also going through Hecate. Hecate is amazing. However, against the Nidhogg can take that Tartarian gate down very, very simply, especially with the help of a Fire Giant or a Mountain Giant or something else as well. We do see that this market here wants to get taken down, but the problem for Magyar, not the big problem, but a small problem for Magyar, is he's going to run out of this gold mine. He will have to move over here. This is not as set up, as defensive as he might like. We do see a mana getting taken down over here. Nice play from Magyar. They're getting those raids in the battle board. Do have 20 crush damage as well as 20 hack damage. So they do a ton of damage to buildings, but he will be getting out of here at this point. The Stymphalian bird's going to be returning back over onto this gold mine as these villagers over here just happily gathering all of the food. Magyar does need to figure out a way to get himself that town center, though, that 3rd town center, as they are both kind of spawned relatively close to Armycore. That doesn't matter all too much in this matchup here, it would seem, but this is just classic. This is just classic 1.03 maps. Absolutely love it, but also hate it at the same time. That's why we like the 6.0, 5.0 maps that we have. But Hecate just about to pop. Where is Armycore going to put it down? He does have this Stymphalian bird over here ready to just float in and get something done. If he chucks it down over there, he could deny a potential Fire Giant, but I feel like Magyar's going to hit here just in time anyway, so it doesn't matter, as the Stymphalian bird does walk in, or fly in, I should say. We'll see where he's going to use this. I think he does use it right here, but I imagine Nidhogg on this location here, Fire Giant coming over, and also Tartarian Gate. Funnily enough, it's not the best against Hersa. This is just like a whole bunch of favor that Magyar can get. Magyar's got a ton of gold in the bank, so he can just spam Fire Giants for days. We do see the Einherjar coming in as the army of Armycore wandering in onto this location. This is going to get taken down so fast. There is no masons here. We will be seeing the Fire Giant, the Nidhogg turning around, going after those Murmillo here. The Fire Giant doesn't necessarily win against the Stymphalian birds, but he does trade very efficiently. There's champion infantry coming through there for Armycore as well, but at this point he is getting pushed back. The Stymphalian birds might want to turn around and just start throwing their feathers at the Nidhogg at some point here, but he's just going to keep floating forward. And now Magyar's got so many resources in the bank. What's he going to do? Go for a Titan here? I actually don't think that's a bad idea, funnily enough, if he just gets a Titan out. But we'll see what he's going to choose. He's just taking his sweet-ass time, kind of deciding what he wants to do with all that favor. He's making those fire giants. He does have access to this upgrade here, Granite Blood, which I think is severely underrated and incredibly strong, given that the fire giants already have 60% hack armor, 80% pierce armor. An extra 200 HP isn't just 200 HP. It is, yeah, it is 200 HP, but it isn't just 200 HP, because if it's 80% pierce armor, it can be more like, I don't know how much, I can't do that math, but we do see the Lampeter coming in, does snipe one of those fire giants here. You have to take that down. We do see that this Nidhogg gets absolutely massacred there by those Stymphalian birds, as the fire giant gets a lot of damage done. Nidhogg going to be retreating away from that hero there, and we do see the Lampeter going to be trying to turn around, and it will probably take down that battle ball. And we do have to be, basically, Magyar has to be really careful here. Don't want to let that Lampeter get too much value. Armycore, he's still got progress to be made here in this game. He can get himself that 4th town center. He's in a very good position. How is his armory upgrades looking? He's got some good armory upgrades. Magyar, on the other hand, no armory upgrades. He's throwing himself up a hill fort over here. And there's another Lampeter snipe onto the fire giant here. Absolutely huge. There's the Lampeter getting taken down. We see the fire giant going after these Stymphalian birds. Look at how fast he takes them down. And he is going to be pulling back. I don't need to pull back. Just leave him in there and take those Stymphalian birds is kind of the only option, because he's going to die anyways. But right now, Armycore 145 population. Magyar struggling to produce here. He's not producing anything from anywhere at this point. Lots of resources in the bank, but he's chucking up a market in the top corner. He's worried about running out of the gold mine over there. And he's going to be starting himself that ox caravan. He's still not producing anything. And Armycore is just pushing in and taking Magyar out, as Magyar just, I don't know what happened here. He's just lost focus or something. He's starting to produce more villages. The farm's coming out, starting to make himself some throwing axemen. These throwing axemen have got no upgrades here, feeling like he needs those to deal with those champion infantry. It's actually not 100% correct. He just needs to get armory upgrades and more fire giants, and he would be completely fine here. With the Stymphalian birds walking in, getting some good damage done, as the towers helping out as well with the town center, but still just not producing those units, still making some more of those throwing axemen. He's got himself medium infantry in now as well. That 4th town center coming down. We now have Fanatics out for Armycore. Fanatics are definitely the point in the game when a Norse player goes, what do I do then? What do I do? Because Fanatics beat throwing axemen. Fanatics beat Ulfsar. Fanatics beat Hersa. Fanatics beat Heroes of Ragnarok. In fact, Fanatics beat literally every single unit that is not named Myth unit that Norse can produce. It's just that they can only build them from the palace, and it can be very, very tough for a Atlantean player to get to those Fanatics. But we'll see what happens here, and it's looking like Armycore is potentially going to the Titan Age. No, is Magyar going to the Titan Age? No. But right now we just see that Armycore moving in onto this gold mine over here. Another random shockwave at this point, and Armycore is throwing up forward palaces here. And there goes Magyar. He decides to tap out. What a wild game here. Slightly disappointed. I feel like Magyar maybe went AFK. That could be what actually happened here. Like, he wasn't building units. He had so much food and gold in the bank to keep spamming Hersa out, but he just wasn't. He just wasn't spamming it, and he did want to transition into throwing axemen, which, I mean, is not a bad try because you do have to deal with Fanatics. But at this point, after you had all of that advantage from killing the Tartarian Gate, the only option is to just go after this town center. You just got to fight. You have to fight. So you just keep pumping units and force the Oranos to stay with their barracks units and have yourself an advantage with fire giants. Because otherwise it's really, really tough here. And that's partly why I thought maybe going Fimbulwinter here would be a little bit better, because it slows the Oranos player down just that little bit more. You don't get access to fire giants, but you don't necessarily need them. You just need those Herso with the Mythic Age boost to HP and damage. But Armycore takes this game very, very nice. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.